Welcome back to our PacMan video series on creating a game in Scratch. We are picking up where we left off with the Ghost AI. We had sort of created a framework, which I hope you can see on the screen here, that we've created some blocks, or my blocks. As you see, the little pink circle over here is called my blocks. What we're going to do first is we're going to start with the up. So I'm just going to move these other ones out of the way just for a second. And what you can do is you can just kind of grab the screen and move it around. So I'm just going to really focus on the up block for right now. Okay. And once we focus on the up block, then we can fairly easily copy it into the down and the left and the right with only a few minor adjustments. So the first thing that we're going to do with the up block is we want to do a look ahead to see if we go up, will we hit part of the maze? And so in order to do that, we're going to use this go to XY. We don't really need to worry about the numbers right now because what we're going to do is we're going to use the value of wherever the ghost is. And so we're going to start out with, you've got a little X position one here and a Y position. So please remember that X is where you are on the grid left and right, and Y is where you are on the grid up and down. So we're going to say we want what, if we're going up, then what we want to do is we want to go up part of a move. So what I've done is I've kind of mathematically calculated that to go from this location here up to that location there is 50 steps or 50 moves or 50 of these little things. So I'm only going to go 25. So what I wanted to do is I want kind of to go up so it's right in the middle. And then I want to see, is it touching the maze? And then if it's touching the maze, we're going to back up. But we're going to do it so fast that nobody sees what we're doing. So the X position doesn't change. Left and right, it's not changing. It's just going up and down. And then the up and down, if we go to the green and choose the plus sign, and so we'll put the Y position and we'll say plus. So half of 50 is 25. So I'm just going to put that in there and then add that back in. So we're going to do this look ahead. And I'm just going to add a comment. You don't have to add a comment, but I'm just going to say this is called look ahead. And so when we look ahead, what we can do is we can say, did that work or did it not work? So in order to do that, we're going to go to our if and grab an if, and then we're going to go to our sensing and we're going to say, are we touching the maze? There we go. I'm just going to move this look ahead out of the way for a second. Okay, so we look ahead and we say, are we touching the maze? And if we're touching the maze, then we're going to back up and not go up at all. We're going to tell it to choose a different direction. So to back up, we can just duplicate this. So I'm just going to go over here, duplicate that, put that in there, and put it back together again. Now this is not called look ahead. This is called back up and change. So we really, I'm just going to move that over. So we really want to back up. So if we moved ahead by 25, then all we need to do here is just say minus 25 or negative 25. So we looked ahead. If we're touching, then we're going to back up to where we started from. Okay. And once we do that, then what we can do is we can say, where am I in the world of places I could be? And what else can I do? So that's kind of, does it work or does it not work? So if I move, so this ghost does have a location where he starts from. So if I do this, I'm just going to randomly set this to, instead of to test it, I'm just going to say 1 to 1. So basically it has to choose the random number 1, which is going to try and move up. And then it's going to do this look ahead, and then it's going to back up. So in essence, what should happen is nothing, which maybe isn't the greatest way to test it. So I'm going to hit the green flag. I'm going to press this, and you can see here that it's not moving at all. Okay. And over here, you can see by the yellow outline, the yellow outline is definitely running, and it's running this code so fast that you don't even see the yellow outline hitting, and it's going up, checking, and then coming back down. So I realize that it hasn't really done anything yet, but we're about to get much more interesting, because if it's not touching, then we have some other choices. Okay, so we chose an if here before. We actually want an if else. So I'm just going to go ahead and grab the if and just move this over and then throw that if away and have an if else. So if it's not touching, then we want to actually do the move. So now for the fun part. First of all, we still need to back up because we cheated. So let's duplicate that and say back up. And this time we're going to say back up and go for real. I'll make that a little bit bigger so it's easier to see. Okay. So we're going to back up and go for real. And this time what we're going to do is we're going to start with a value. So we need to remember where we started from on the y axis. And so in order to do that, we're going to create a variable, and we're going to make a variable, and this variable is called blue ghost start. Oh, sorry, my caps lock is on. Blue ghost start y. And this is only going to be for this sprite. Okay, so blue ghost, the starting y value, so the up and down value of where it starts from. And we're going to set that. Oh, for some reason, it's got the wrong one here. So we're going to do blue ghost start y. There we go. So we're going to set that, and it's going to be the y position. So we can go back and get the y position of where we're starting from. So now we can remember where we started from. Okay. And then we're going to do a loop to count, to move as we go. It's going to move exactly 50 steps up. And if it moves exactly 50 steps up, then it is in the next row. So that's the math of how we've done it, is 50 steps up or 50 steps down gets you exactly into the next row. But in order to do that, we also, as we're moving, we have to be checking to see, are we touching the PacMan and have we killed the PacMan as we go? So that's why we're not doing a glide, because that would not perform that function. So for this, we're going to use a control that we've never used before, and it's down near the bottom, and it's called repeat until. And so we're going to grab that, and I'm just going to leave it down here for now so that we can build the repeat until, because this is going to be a little bit complicated, and then when we're done, it's just going to go right there. So I'm just going to leave this out here so it's a little easier to see. So the repeat until, we want to see, has the y position of our ghost gone up 50 steps yet? And so in order to do that, we need the y position. So we can come down here and grab the y position. We need that piece. We also need a green piece to say, is something equal to something else? So we'll pull that out and put it there. And then we need that blue ghost start y. So we'll go and grab the blue ghost. Oh, we don't need that turned on. We can just turn that off. So there's our pieces of the puzzle so that we're ready to go. And then I'm also going to need a plus sign. So let's go back to the green and grab a plus sign. Okay, so here's how this is going to work. We have a y position of our ghost as it's moving up. And what we want to say is that position equal to the starting position, the starting value, plus 50? So as it's moving up, we're going to say, is it equal to the start y plus 50? So let's put the 50 in there, 50. Okay. Now, if you drew your own maze, you'll have to do your own calculations. These calculations are only for my maze. And so we're going to put this inside there. So if the y position equals the starting position plus 50, now we can put that in there. All right. And if it does, then we're going to move up. Okay. So we haven't reached the whole way. So we're going to change our y value. So where's change y? There's, oh, that's change x, change y. And we want to move it by the speed of the ghost. So where's all ghost speed? There it is, all ghost speed. Okay, excellent. So that's the biggest chunk of getting it going. Now we haven't tested to see if we've killed the PacMan yet. So that we're going to do in our next video, because I don't want to run out of video space here. Okay, so in the next video, we'll figure out how the ghost kills PacMan.